Welcome back to Primary Teaching with Dom.
Hello and welcome back. I was thinking, what kind of video should I actually make? And I'm looking outside windows. You know, the people, like older people that use I don't know what they call those little wheelchair things that is electric and can ride. There's one just riding it in the middle of the street. Like, go ahead, why not? But anyway, if you hear a fan in the background, it literally is my fan blowing here. It's quite warm. But I've been seeing quite a lot of videos on YouTube talking about the cost of teaching in this country or this state. But I didn't think that I could participate in that video because although I do know quite a little bit about the financial situation, I'm not yet a teacher in my school teaching my own class, so I don't really know certain things. So I thought it'd be good for me to actually do the cost of being a PGCE student. I definitely know that, been through it, going through it now in my last 2 weeks. And congratulations to anyone who is now finishing up their PGCE course, Schools Direct, Teach First, whatever you're doing. It's been a great journey, as a lot of people have been telling me, and we are getting there. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the things that will cost you money. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to tell you the things that will give you money. Things that scholarships and so on. So, let's get onto the video. One thing to really consider when thinking about being a PGCE student, Schools Direct, Teach First, or just doing a teacher training program in general, is travel. I'm in Kent, and on a PGCE course you don't get the option to choose where you go for schools. So they give you a list, and then you look at the school, you look at how far it's going to be, and you travel there. You're responsible for the cost of traveling there to get there and back on time. They don't give you any money for that. It's just what you need to do. So I can give you some of what I go through. I mentioned it a little bit in my vlog, in vlog 9, talking about my rant about students, but I can go into more in depth now. So I travel to and from is 18 miles there and 18 miles back. So you're looking at around, goodness me, I really should have calculated this. So I'm looking at 36 miles per day. So every single day, Monday to Friday, I travel 36 miles back and from. I drive, fortunately, so I have to pay for petrol. My car on a full tank will give me £40. It will take £40 out of my lovely account. That will last me a week. If you think about that lasts me a week, I'm at this placement for 10 weeks, it's costing me £400 just for petrol alone. Not talking about anything else but petrol. When I did my second placement, I did more miles. I think I did 38 miles I did. And on a full tank, which is £40, that lasted me 3.5 days. So if you generally think about that, so I'm generally looking around the mark of £300 that I paid for that placement, for my second placement. My first placement I did, I was doing the same miles as I'm doing now currently. And if I said before that it was about £400, I paid about £220 on petrol. So if you add that all up together, then around about over £800 on petrol alone. Now, when I think about that figure, it actually kind of disgusts me. That's the first time I've actually ever thought about that sum. I've literally spent nearly £1,000 on petrol. I have travelled from, I started my PGCE in September. I came a bit earlier because I got my house earlier and I started the job. So I came here in August. From August to now, I have driven 8,000 miles in my car. That's including placements, going to university. So that is quite a lot of money. So don't get disheartened. There is money coming to you, but I just thought, let me tell you, that's £800 and plus that I've paid just for petrol alone. So you really got to think. I know my friend, she had to travel on train to go to her second placement for 5 weeks, and she spent £400 on just train tickets because it's very expensive alone just to get to a placement and back. So you really got to think about these different ways that you can get to school. In Kent area, the buses are not the best. They don't get you to certain places, especially where they give you schools. So you just got to be aware of where you are. and how much money that is going to take from you. The next one is food. Now, food is a daily, everyone needs food, especially on this course. Food is all you're going to eat. So you've got to factor that in. Me, myself and I spend £20 a week on food. So that is £80 a month. If you times that by 10, that is £800 I spend on food. That's just my budget. Not talking about the times I've been really tired and just bought kebab or bought KFC. But I spent nearly £800 alone on just food. But I've been working on a £20 a week budget for quite some time by this point, so I'm pretty much used to it. But for people that are not, and people that are just used to just buying food when needed, you just really got to factor that in. So far, we're going to see the total cost, as I said, is £80 a month, and let's say about 10 months. £1,600 on food and travel alone. That is it so far. So that's the cost that I've accumulated. I know I've accumulated probably 2,000, but we're not going to go there, of that so far. Housing is another one. For those of you that don't want to be home and want to travel out to go to a different university that's not close to your house, or you just don't want to be at home and be bogged down with parents or everything like that, and want a fresh start like me. Not that I was bogged down, I just really didn't want to be at home. I just needed to get out for my own sanity. You've got to think about how much a room or a house or a flat or whatever you are going to buy will cost you. I live in student housing at this moment in time, and I spend my room, because you may look around, my room's quite small, but it's convenient, and I spend monthly £378 a month for this one room to be in, basically, and it's like a house share. So I have to factor that in as well, knowing that when I get money, which you will know later from like student finance, I have to make sure I take all my rent money out for the term, because if I don't, I'm not going to have any money and I'm going to be broke, and the money for rent still has to come out. So if you factor in £378 from July, I started in July last year, to June, so that's around £4,000 that I've paid. Oh, this sounds disgusting. Oh, oh, that sounds so nasty. So in total, I have now spent £5,758. A roundabout. I know it's probably a bit more, but a roundabout figure is that much. So that is travel, so petrol, that includes food. I didn't really talk about going out, and that's added extras, that's on top. I have been out, had the occasional juice mixed with, but those are things that I've also haven't factored in, so it does cost a bit more. So although now I've scared you thinking, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I can't afford any of that, here is the great side. The great side is that there's money coming to you to help you to supplement these things that you need to supplement. So the first one is student finance. Now everyone can actually apply for that one. You apply for the postgraduate student finance and not the undergraduate one, because they're two different things. The postgraduate, I think it gives you up to £10,609, but I think it's actually gone up to £11,000 now, so it's something like that. So that's the maximum that you can claim. There are scholarships out there that give you extra money on top, and this is generally for people that got a 2-1 and above as everything. If you do have a 2-2, you can still apply for scholarships that will help you out, give you more funding, give you more help along, but you have to provide them with significant evidence of you training, or you being in the teaching profession as a TA, or being around schools, or anything to do with children, so that you can apply for. Big one is bursary, and I'm now going to tell you about the secondary PGCE, or the secondary schools direct, and then I'll get onto our lovely primary. If you do physics, chemistry, languages, computing, geography, languages, or classics means Greek and Latin, and biology, you can get £26,000 of a bursary that you do not, is tax free, so you don't have to pay it back. If you do maths secondary, you get up to £30,000 to £32,000 of bursary tax free. That is regardless whether you got a first, a PhD, 2-2 or 2-1, you still get that same amount, £26,000 regardless. Keep going for my secondary PGCE students, you lucky bunch of people. If you do English, music, history, or DT, you get a bursary of £15,000 that you can go for. And if you got a 2-2, for all those subjects you get £6,000. But that doesn't include if you do DT, RE, history, or music. So you don't get a bursary if you get a 2-2 for that. You get nil, zero, zilch. You get nothing. PGCE primary students like me, I haven't forgotten you, we're here. So let me tell you what you get. Are you ready? If you do PGCE primary maths or PGCE primary with mathematics as a focus, if you get a 2-1, a first, a PhD, whatever, you get £6,000 bursary.
And that's it for primary. So if you do anything else that is related to primary, you get nothing. You get zero. Whether you got a first, a PhD, masters, anything, you do not get
anything. You can get student finance, which I've been on. So as I was saying earlier, with my thousands of with my, what was it, like £5,000, £6,000 that I've earned, my student finance was able to cover the majority of that. But some of the added extra things, I had a job and I got a job and I made sure that I earned enough to cover everything else like bills. But those are the things that you really got to look out for and be aware for when you're becoming a PGCE student or a schools direct or going into teacher training, because there's always money involved and you got to think how to budget your money. It'd be really important for me to make a video about it because I don't think there's much videos about it out there. Yes, you get more funding if you're secondary, but don't just go for secondary because you get funding, because if you prefer primary, go for it. Many people have done primary, PGCE, and get no bursary and the student finance and they survived. So you can do it, don't worry. I could have been there if I really wanted. People doubting, that's fine. I'm gonna be on my grind, man, I swear I'm on it.
But thank you for watching. Please subscribe up here and watch my 2 previous videos down here. And I really do hope you have a great day, and I'm going to have a great day myself. Until then, bye.